everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back today with another episode of Nameless Horrors, Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. Let's go around the cast and crew, let's figure out who we are and who we are playing today. So let's start over to my right, left? I don't know. Redundant UK, how you doing?
Too bad. I'm excited to do another session of Call of Cthulhu. I'm going to be hiding behind whatever is available because something very, very bad is about to happen. But I'm very excited to see the result. Yeah, but overall not too bad. Cold, preparing for
The beast from the east
coming. The beast from the east. Yeah. But apart from that, yeah, fine.
Good stuff. Yes, Roller's right. How much of us is left intact is the real question. Amazing. We've also got Donovan Fry back with us today. Don, how you doing, my friend?
I'm great. I'm super excited about today. We left on a huge cliffhanger last week. I'll be playing Garen O'Kayan. He is an ex-priest who has recently admitted to the group that now he sort of works as a contractor for the Catholic Church, hunting down cultists.
That's right. Awesome. We've got Greg, Grimjack21502 back with us tonight. Greg, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm ready to get at it. We got a book being read. You know, Jolly loves books. He loves all that educational, institutional knowledge and study. So this is right in his wheelhouse as we barrel into probably the deadliest thing that you can possibly fucking encounter outside of one of the Elder Gods in Call of Cthulhu in this tome. So I can't wait. Jolly can't wait. Let's see what happens.
Amazing. Of course, Lindy will be back with us next week. She'll be back from her travels. But we have Pruitt with us tonight. Pruitt, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. My character, we'll see here in a few minutes how he holds up. I can't wait after last week's cliffhanger, of course, the revealing of the tome itself. So before we get started, I just want to go ahead and say Claire tu Verata Nectome.
Amazing. So, yes, Alan is about to open up the Necronomicon, but let's go through a couple of things before we get started today. First of which, shout out to our sponsors, dndice.co.uk. They sponsor all our shows, and you can go get 5% off on all of their dice and accessories over on their website, dndice.co.uk. Use that coupon code Encounter Roleplay, and you'll save yourself some cash dollar. Also, if you haven't followed the show, hit the follow button and join us. 20 followers, you guys get to decide what happens next. Of course, here's a tweet for you guys as well. 20 retweets, let's get a viewer decision, and let's screw with these guys some more, because that's what they need. Well, maybe they need some help, actually. And of course, donate to affect the game. Give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. But I digress. Our keeper of the law, as has been appointed, self-appointed, and somewhat thrust upon him by me, Don, do you want to walk us through a couple of the main events that happened last week on the show?
Yeah, sure. So, long story short, some of us, maybe all of us, are infected with maybe an alien, some sort of horrifying fungus that will either kill us and or drive us insane, probably both, in very short order. We were looking for the Golden Ferronier. This is an artifact that several groups in the Miskatonic region are hunting. We're looking for it too, hoping that maybe it'll lead to a way to save ourselves in the valley from this fungal infection that's sort of spreading. But we sort of got lost in time and space, and now we're maybe in this other world that's parallel to our world. And we were in a manor last week, and we saw our own dead bodies there, and our first reaction was that this is what's going to happen to us. But as we explored more, it sort of became apparent that maybe this was just an alternate version of us. This isn't our future necessarily, but a parallel world in which we have been killed by parallel Sloan, other Sloan, who transformed into some sort of tentacle monstrous thing after studying the Necronomicon. And of course, we found the Necronomicon, and after much debate, decided that the only way that we were going to get to the old mill and travel in time to look for the Golden Ferronier is to maybe try to use the Necronomicon, but we didn't want to repeat past mistakes, so Sloan isn't going to look at it Instead, Alan Pierce, our doctor, our poor doctor, has volunteered to take on the task for himself, and he is going to brave cracking open the Necronomicon. We ended last week with Jolly and Sloan downstairs in the foyer of the manor, and Garen and Alan upstairs in this study where the Necronomicon is hidden underneath of a coat or a blanket, some sort of covering.
That's right. And Dr. Allen is heading towards the book and opening up the Necronomicon, which can only mean good things. So, lost in time and lost in space, the party find themselves inside the manor, and Dr. Pierce, what are you doing?
Well, I suppose I'm looking down at the Necronomicon now that I've uncovered it, yes?
Mm-hmm. That is correct. So you pull off the cover, and you see before you this dark tome wrapped in what you can only assume is human skin. And there is almost a window on it which looks through and it moves, and you see kind of swirling patterns and stars within that mesmerize and confuse the brain.
So, okay. Let's see what is there, Watley, is there anything I need to know? Do I just open it?
The being in your mind says, "Yes, open and read."
And I'll just slowly crack the cover and open it up to my waiting eyes.
As you peel back the pages and begin to read, you sense something very strange happening. The first thing you notice is that it's like being pulled into a book when you're completely like transfixed by a novel and you're just turning over page after page. You just can't wait to get to the end and you're completely enthralled by it. And that immediately grasps you. As soon as you open it, as soon as your eyes set upon the book, you're just pulled down into the pages, reading these scriptures. It's in a language that you know that you don't understand. It's a language which you can't read, and yet at the same time, it kind of echoes within your mind. You can immediately just understand what these words are on the page, as it speaks of ancient vaults, the beings that came before, sacrifices, spells, magic, everything which lies beyond. Secrets are laid unto Dr. Allen's mind, which he did not know he could comprehend. And of course, we're going to ask you to roll a sanity check here, Dr. Pierce.
Yeah. But at least my head's much bigger now, so I can hold all that knowledge.
Absolutely.
What's that? Sanity check, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sure this will go great.
Good.
You know what? Even though I don't have much luck, I'm going to use 9 luck and make that a success.
If only you could spend luck on sanity checks.
Oh, right. Shit. Forgot about that.
Oh, delicious despair. Yes, Dr. Pierce, you look into this. Could you roll me a d20?
Sure. I don't see a problem with that.
It's all good.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
You rolled a 20?
Yes.
You lose 20 sanity.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Okay. That's fine. How much sanity do you have now?
This is fine.
Yeah?
As the world is burning around me.
Yeah.
I have 16 sanity left.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. That's a thing that's happened now. So, Alan, you open up this book, and it's safe to say you lose your mind as soon as you open this up, and you start reading the text and scriptures within, and secrets are laid bare before you. And you realize that this book is interesting because it's a book which holds all knowledge within it, all arcane occult knowledge that you're looking for. So you need only think of a topic that you're looking to learn about, and the secrets will be laid before you. And you can sense that you are somewhat protected by wizards in your brain, and then at first you're like, oh, okay, like there's a barrier there, and then that barrier is just shattered in your mind as nothing can protect you from this. So Alan, what do you go looking for in the Necronomicon?
How to not be insane.
Error 404. There's a bad gateway on that one.
No, I mean, he was looking for basically like how to get like what's under the wind or the mill, and I mean that was his original. That's why we're here, right?
Excellent.
So I mean that would have been his first thought as opening, as whatever.
Absolutely. So you go looking for what lies beyond, below the mill. You learn of a creature of mud that's been marled with obscene offal, this pool of grey, horrid mass known as Abhoth, the source of uncleanliness, which resides beneath in the Miskatonic Valley, beneath that mill, beneath the hills of the Miskatonic Valley. It has children which are huge amorphous blobs or singular body parts. They're strange, queer, monstrous mutants with tentacles and limbs which grab and pull, and you see upon this being which is so eldritch and alien in nature, but at the same time you can understand it. It can control elements of time. It can drag whole cities, whole regions into a different place, which one could call something like limbo. And as you're learning this, you're learning a great deal of information. It's just kind of like pounding into Alan's brain, but it's like too much is melting his sanity as he learns too much. There are the 4 layers of realities, which can be different creatures can live upon, which you learned some of this last week. That some creatures, the more powerful, they can exist on the later planes and are invisible to the mortal eye, which would explain ghosts and apparitions and the like. But this creature, it drags you into its own level of time. It is likely as soon as you reached Arkham that the whole Miskatonic Valley is just seeped in this tendrils of this magic from the Abhoth, and that you have been dragged into this alternate time. So you are in limbo right now, what could be referred to as like stage 5 or X, because you are no longer on the normal time. Also very Kiena for the preemptive heals for everyone, that's going to be great. And 2 wild magic surges for Jolly from Isriva. We'll get to those in a few minutes here. You can roll those up now, Greg, of course. So this creature lies below, and it is hungry. It will. It gains great pleasure in dragging beings into the depths of insanity, laying out their past, their futures before them, and taunting them with that. And there are those who seek to gain the favor of this creature, and in return for some of its powers, they will often go insane and mad, but they will do things for this creature. One such being you would suspect would be Squire Wakely, who has some control over time and is allowed into Abhoff's own dimension. You know now that beneath that mill lies Squire Watley's home, but also Abhoff's own dimension. It's like its own pocket dimension in which it exists. So while the rest of the Miskatonic Valley is in quote-unquote limbo, beneath that mill is like its private sanctum and chamber. That's what you know.
Okay, I try to relate that, but it probably just comes out as like a scream.
Yeah, yeah, everyone outside of Dr. Allen's current moment just hears him scream, and he's probably like frothing from the mouth right now.
As Sloane hears the scream, he will sigh and close his eyes, and visibly sad as he knows what's happened.
No, Garen's in the room with Alan.
That's right.
Does Garen witness anything that does it just look like he opens the book and then starts screaming?
That is essentially what happens. He opens the book, he begins to scream and froth at the mouth, and his eyes roll back in his head.
Garen will immediately try to wrap his arms around Alan's chest and pull him away from the book, and he'll say, Alan, are you all right? Alan.
No response. He is...
I mean, I could method act if you want me to, but it'd be distracting.
Yeah, he's completely unresponsive to you.
But I can get him away from the book.
You could try and pull him away.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull him away from the book and then cover it if I can.
Roll me strength.
All right, I'll use advantage on this.
Good idea.
So that'll be a hard success.
Nice. You prise him away from the boat, just throw him across the room, and he kind of like falls back against the wall, kind of gibbering to himself. Eyes still roll back in his head. The book is still open.
Garen's first he's gonna take the blanket and throw it back over top of the book to start with.
Okay. Yeah, you just throw it over without kind of looking at it, without trying to read it. You notice that Alan looks a little different. Where previously there was this green moss over, like fungus, which had kind of fallen out of his mouth and his lips were tinged green. All of that is gone. He actually looks quite healthy.
Okay. So he's shaking and kind of convulsing, and Garen's gonna try to lay him down and position him in such a way that he won't chew off his own tongue. He's dealt with people who've gone into episodes in asylums before, and so he kind of treats this like that situation. And he's gonna call out so the others can hear. He's gonna say, "Something's wrong with Alan. I got him away from the book, but he's not doing well." And can he sense any kind of unnatural presence coming off of him?
Yeah.
Can he sense what's changed?
Yeah, roll me a power.
Sure. Extreme success.
Nice. There's no more like fungus on him, and it's kind of opening his mouth and he's kind of throwing up, frothing out the mouth. There's no fungus inside his mouth. At a guess, you would think that maybe that creature, Wizard Wadley, has been like purged from him.
Okay. But I don't necessarily sense that it's been replaced by something else.
You don't think so?
Okay. Then I'm basically going to try to hold him in such a way that he won't hurt himself, and see if the episode passes.
Okay. Are the two of you guys downstairs, do you react to Garen's shout?
Sorry, 1 second.
Jolly would go up to the door, but he would not look in, nor would he enter. He will just stand beside the door and say, "Is the book covered up? Did you cover up the book?"
I covered up the book. I covered it up.
Are you sure?
He glances to double check. Still covered?
Still looks covered.
I'm sure, Jolly.
Okay, Jolly will creep into the room. Magic surges if you want to hit me with them now, Will.
Yeah, let's look at these wild magic surges here. It's a good idea.
1198 is the first one.
1198. Light up the screen. Here we go. 1198. You are invisible to yourself from the waist down. Everyone else sees
That's
you
my
perfectly.
favorite part.
Yeah, you can no longer see from a ways down on yourself. That is worrying.
They just go blind.
Yeah, definitely the Necronomicon's having some odd effects. Ooh, 6174.
Right.
Target is real, but can be dispelled as if he were an illusion. That's pretty cool.
Well, I'm half invisible anyway,
Yeah,
so I guess
Yeah, you're looking like an apparition.
I'm like the photograph in Back to the Future.
Exactly. Kip, you kind of like bust into the room to see Alan kind of gibbering on the floor. The book is covered, but both you and Garen will notice that underneath the cover, you start to see a very golden glow coming from it, as though you just opened a treasure chest and the golden glow is upon you. It's starting to like radiate a golden light from underneath that, which shines into the room.
Jolly sees that, looks down, cannot see the bottom half of him, swallows a shriek, just looks forward and grabs the back of Pierce's collar and grabs the back of, if Garen can't come, he lifts him up and starts dragging them both out of the room. You gotta get the fuck out of here.
Get Alan out. I'm gonna close this book.
It's glowing. It's fucking gold, man.
Maybe if I close it, it'll stop glowing.
All right, your funeral, Garen. And he pulls Pierce out.
All right. Garen, you want to try closing this book?
Yeah, he wants to try closing the book.
All right, roll me a power.
I'll nat 20
That's a
that.
good idea. There is a temptation for a split second for Garen to not cover the book, not close it, but instead to read and to see what Dr. Allen has seen, but instead you just force yourself to slam close the Necronomicon, and it just closes shut. The golden light from it dissipates and disappears, but there is still somewhat of a glow coming from that window in the book. Very, very golden.
From the window in the book?
The window
like
in the book, the little kind of like circle in the middle, which kind of looks inside, yeah.
Okay. Does he get any? Does he feel? Well, no, it doesn't matter. He's out of there.
Yeah.
He slams the door shut behind him.
Nice, nice. Also, shout out to Margaret Cronin. What's up, Margaret? I tuned in a little bit last night to some Roll for It. Highly recommend you go check out that stream, guys. What's up, Latu? So yeah, you just like pull yourselves out of that room, keep just dragging Dr. Allen as he's foaming at the mouth. Alan, you are starting to come back round to some semblance of sanity, but 16 sanity is at the point where the fabric of reality is just tearing for Pierce. Like, he should be taken to a sanitarium, he should be given a lot of help, and maybe should never, like, be in normal society again. He is pretty crazy. You do know many things, however. This is going to, let's see, where's your character sheet? There we go. This is going to raise your magic points by 10. You now have 10 extra magic points, or just 10 if you didn't have any before. Your occult knowledge is going to go up by 60 as you see all of the secrets within the Necronomicon.
Okay. Am I considered to have that skill now? Or
Yes, you would be considered to have that.
cool.
Nice.
That's
And
23.
your intelligence, let me find out. I think your intelligence goes up by 10. So you're even cleverer now.
Jeez.
But you're insane. So
Yeah,
you win some, you lose some.
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. You're starting to come back round. Alan, you also know how to unbar the gate, which is the spell required to remove the barrier in place upon the mill. So you're in limbo right now, but if you were to go to the mill and that sign which the squire had put up, you could remove that with a spell. It does cost you sanity. And then you would be able to get down to Abhoff's lair.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he's pretty much just kind of like
mumbling and chewing on his fingernails and just like staring at nothing really. Like his eyes are just kind of jittery and darting, never really focusing on anything. But yeah, he just kind of has a little bit of a rock. And he's just, it's like, yeah, you can go in, you can unbar the gate, we can unbar the gate, we can open the mine, we can open the mine, open my mind. But we can open the mill with my mind. And I can see
You okay
everything.
there,
I
Doc?
can see everything. Kip, I can see everything.
Can you see my legs?
You have 2 legs. We have 2 legs. Everyone has 2 legs.
Good. Well, if you can see them, that's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I can open the book. I can open the mill. I can open my mind.
We don't got the book, Doc. Can you do it without the book?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Hey, Doc, where's your
Back to
where's your
good
flask? Why don't you get a drink? Why don't you calm down a bit? Take a nice long pool of that hip cannon you got.
Yeah. Let's take more in. Let's take more in the mind than we can take.
Nope.
Kind of like shakily take a drink from my flask.
You feel an unquiet in your mind, which you haven't sensed for a while now, Pierce, which is that of there is no longer another voice in your head. That part seems like it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You seem alone again.
All alone now. There's no other
A resplendent
There's knowledge.
offering.
There's knowledge. I saw it. I saw it. It spoke to me, but there is no voice yet. There's no voice left. I can cast spells. I'm the wizard now. The wizard is gone because he is me. Yes.
Sloan.
Sloan will slowly approach. Yes.
Thank you, Latu.
It's all alone.
This is out of my wheelhouse, Sloan. And he kind of stays close to help, but turns the Doc over to Sloan.
Sloan will look at the doctor and like tilt his head slightly and then look at Jolly and just go. And just shake his head.
And then Alan will just look right at Sloan. I can open it. I can get us in. I saw the way. I saw the path. I walked through it. I can get us in.
And Sloan will turn and walk away and signal the others to come and follow him.
Sloan, can you give him that stuff that you take after,
He already had some.
maybe some more? Can you get him to be quiet? Can you get him to calm down?
I have a limited supply.
I am quiet. There is no voice left. It is gone. The wizard is gone because the wizard is me.
I do not want to, as awful as it sounds, waste what I have. However, he might still be useful to us.
I think you're right, Sloan, about the wasting part.
If we had time and Caligula resources, then maybe. And that's a very, very thin maybe. We might get a slither of the good doctor back. But these aren't ideal circumstances.
Garen looks grief-stricken because there had been a conversation between the 3 of them as to who was going to read the book, and he let Alan take the risk, and this is the result. And he'll go over to Alan and he'll kind of grab him and squeeze his hand. And he'll say, "Alan, come on now. You try to stay focused. Help us get into that mill. I promise I won't give up on you. If we can help you, once we get through, we'll help you."
I help you. I will help you because we are in limbo. We are in hell right now, and we can get into Abhos domain.
We can. I know the spell. I know the way through. I can break the lock. I break the lock because I was broken.
Sloan is gonna pull Jolly to one side out of earshot and basically go, he is still useful to us. If what he is saying is true, and he can open the gate, it could help us. However, that will be the last thing that he ever does. And the results will not be pleasant.
It'll kill him, or
Oh, it will do something so much worse.
you want me to put him down, Sloan?
I want you to be ready for what could happen. As much as it pains me to say.
No, you're right. We had this discussion before about the green shit. Wanted to know how many of you I had to put down, but looks like the doc's first on the hit list.
Hit with a bat. I get it. It's funny. No, you hit. But I'm not infected. I don't have it. See? I'm free. I'm free.
All right, Alan. All right.
If it were up to me, I would probably end him now, as a mercy. What he has to do, I dread to think. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But we have no other way into that windmill.
Well, let's give the doc his due. Maybe he can figure it out. He's locked in there somewhere. Maybe he's fighting. Who knows, right? We gotta give him a chance. Bell ain't rung yet.
Class is not out. Class is not out. We have still much to learn. We must do this. I can unlock the gate. I can. I have the key.
Alan, can you get us back to our world, the world we belong in?
Can I get you there? No. We are not there. We are gone. But we have to go somewhere else. We have to go to Abhoth's domain. He has his own pocket, his own mind. We must go in Abhoth's mind. The squire awaits us there.
Now, why do we want to go into Abhoth's domain? That seems to be the opposite of. Can you explain what that does for us?
We wanted to. That's why we're here. That's why we wanted what we wanted, right? We wanted to find
The Golden Farinye. The Golden Farinye. That's where it is?
Yes, I'd forgotten. The voice is gone, so I had forgotten. But yes, it is there.
All right. Well, I don't know how the artifact works, but we gotta find it, and maybe it restores things. Maybe somehow there's a way to fix you too, to make you feel better. In the meantime, are you able to stand up?
I stand. I stand for many things. I can stand. I'm a doctor. I can heal. I stand for healing. I stand for good. I stand. Am I standing right now, Will?
Oh, you definitely think so.
I'm standing. I can stand. I can walk. I just kind of start pacing in a very small circle.
Jolly's gonna pull the other two that aren't pacing in a small circle over to the side and say, listen, guys, when the fuck do we call this? I mean, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get back to the real world. Fuck this Golden Farinye. Fuck Squire and Wizard Waitley. All this shit, man. I say we put Dunwich in our rear view and get the fuck out of here.
It's at that point that Garen coughs up a little bit of fungus. He says, I understand how you feel, Jolly, but whatever this thing is, this disease that's spreading, Lou and I, we have it. And I don't know if you and Sloan have it, but if we don't cure ourselves, if we don't find a way to survive it, then there ain't no future for us anywhere.
You cannot escape Abhoth's grasp. He reaches into the one and brings it into his world. We reside in the one of four, and he is in his own, his beyond the four. His grasp is, he already holds the one. He's pulling it in. He's pulling everyone.
I think
His domain.
I think what the good doctor is trying to tell us is if we do nothing, everything that we know is going to shatter before our very eyes. We have
Time shatters all. Time. He controls time. He can pull you through it.
However, I do not wish to go into this realm unprepared. Perhaps the good doctor learned something to assist us in this abomination that we might face.
How
Alan?
are you gonna ask him that?
Couple of quick things for Alan. Isriva donates £20. Two bad things for Alan, which are D100 rolls. And Latu, what's the chance of a wild magic surge healing some sanity for the doctor? Pretty low, but maybe these three give a decent chance for that. Maybe so. So 3 wild magic surges and 2 bad things for Dr. Alan Pierce here.
I swear they're trying to finish him off.
Yeah.
They're trying to help. What are you talking about? Well, at least Latu is. Maybe. Help.
Yeah.
I
There
thought I
may
was doing a pretty good, crazy guy.
Yeah.
So you said 3 wild magic?
3 wild magics and 2 D100s.
Okay. Well, sorry, not sure why they did 4.
No
We'll
worries.
just take the
Took the
three.
first 3, yeah. So I'll go through these. The next potion imbibed by the caster induces lycanthropy for 1d4 months. That's dope. You become a fucking werewolf. Like it. 7651. Your weapon induces racial hatred in dwarves and elves. That's so fantasy, isn't it? Oh. I like it. And then 2562 reads, each morning, you must save or earn the enmity of a monarch. That's pretty cool. I like it. Okay, and then 2 D100 rolls, please, Dr. Pierce.
Okay. So it's 72 and 100.
Ooh, 72, first of all. A threatening note is stabbed into a nearby tree with a peculiar knife. I like that.
I do like knives.
I like
Is the
that.
knife
the second
ever
one.
drawn blood?
This one's so cool. 100. A gemstone falls from the sky. What is it worth, you wonder? And where did it come from? Okay, so here's what happens. You guys hear the noise of something moving from back in the room with the Necronomicon. You hear something moving in there. A rustling.
Jolly starts gingerly going down the steps to the first flight because he can't see his feet and he doesn't want to sprain his ankle. So he's
I think Jolly's onto something. I think it's time to vacate this manor and be on our way.
I agree.
Alan, this way now. We're gonna go to that mill now.
You hear a scratching at the door.
We can open the way. We can open the way.
Sloan is going to see if he can hide the best he can in anything that's there.
You guys are out in the corridor right now.
Okay, so we've
I'm
got
down the steps a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
Through a
hide.
banister.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna duck behind the banister then. It's the best I got.
You want to hide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can run with stealth.
All right. Let's see how I'm doing. Here we go. Ooh. What's my stealth? 50. Ooh, I passed.
Nice. So Sloan just ducks and hides, keeps headed off down the staircase. Garen, you're pulling Pierce with you.
Yeah, Garen's trying to bring Pierce to the staircase too, but he's keeping his front towards the door, and he pulls out his Templar sword, except for this time, as he unsheathes it, it seems to grow to quadruple the size it was before, and it thunk into the ground. And he's kind of dragging it along with him.
Oh, that Wild Magic search from last week, I love it. So yeah, you start dragging the sword behind you, and the scratching grows kind of louder at the door, like the sound of nails down a chalkboard, that kind of sound of just like, Ugh! Outside, as Kip, you're going downstairs, you can see out a window that the mists are beginning to dissipate outside.
Can I take a quick glance and see if the statue outside is still Sloane?
Sure. You can roll me a spot hidden.
It's a hard success.
Nice. The statue is still Sloane.
I thought maybe it'd be the doc. I was just
So, Sloane, you're hiding. Do you want to wait here whilst you feel the door beginning to kind of creak open from something? As it's like pushing against it.
So, what door? So the door to the Necronomicon, or the
Necronomicon
front
room.
door?
Yeah.
Oh, in that
room.
case, I'm getting downstairs. Sorry, I thought you meant the front door.
No, yeah. The one
Yeah,
that...
I'm getting down the stairs then.
Yeah. So something moves in the Necronomicon room, and you hide for a second, and you're like, fuck it, run. And you're pulling Pierce with you as well, as you hear a kind of garbled sort of moan coming from that room, like of someone in deep agony. And we headed outside the door. The mists have dissipated.
I'm going to relay that information just so they all know here.
Okay.
Yeah, Jolly will hold the door and stay inside until everyone's clear, and then he'll be the last one out.
You hear a voice coming down from the top of the staircase. There is no way back.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to peek.
Do I recognize the voice?
You don't instantly recognize the voice. Sure thing, the two. Thank you for that donation. Absolutely. You don't instantly recognize the voice, but Sloane, you recognize it somewhat. Sounds a little bit like yourself.
Oh, God.
As you peek up, you see an older version of yourself staring down at you from the top of the staircase. Your eyes have been blinded, as though they have been like cut or burned out, and it's just kind of like those kind of holes where the kind of pits of your eyes, I suppose, where the eyeball should be. On your back, there are these strange, kind of at the moment, they're just like flopped down onto the floor, these 5 milky tentacles, which are being dragged behind. And it looks as though they have been nailed together, as though like a stake has been driven through them. Possibly this is self-administered. And the stake driving through them means that they aren't moving around, they're just being kind of dragged behind you like a kind of ball and chain, and it's just dragging them along. This version of Sloane is a fair amount older than you, but you can still recognize yourself there. There is no way back.
And we could get some valuable information from him.
Ain't he the one who killed other Russ?
Yeah.
Sideways us?
Yes.
Is he coming down the stairs? And Garen's outside, but he's stopped.
Yeah, he is. Very, very slowly. Oh, he has tentacles as well.
This story's getting better and better.
Also, he has no eyes.
That actually is better.
You don't need eyes to see. You can see beyond. It's fine.
Now it's worse again.
The question we need to ask ourselves is what he can tell us worth the risk.
And the second question we have to ask ourselves is, Padre, what the fuck happened to your sword?
Are you
Hey.
overcompensating
Happens.
for something?
There's been strange things happening to my sword over the last couple of days. Like this mirror, like you see, like it looks like a mirror. It didn't used to look like that. I don't know. I just think it's part of whatever's going on, but it's heavy.
We're getting to be buddies, Padre, but your sword problems, maybe something you keep close to your vest.
I am beginning to think that maybe I should have, learned to fire a firearm instead. But here we are. Are we going to talk to other Sloan, or are we going to stop him, or are we gonna run?
You hear a voice call out, "Be careful." Sloan, is that you?
I look to the others to see if they want me to reply.
I don't like the tone that he said that in. That is a vaguely threatening tone that he used.
Right. He's using your own threatening tone against you.
How rude.
There it is.
Yes,
Answer me.
he has many tentacles.
If you want to talk to him, talk to him. But if he starts coming out that door, I think we gotta.
Book it,
That's-
as you would say. Okay. And I will nudge the door open very, very slightly. So basically there's the door, I'm hiding behind it, and respond, "Yes, I can hear you."
Why do you cower in fear at your own visage? Are you afraid of me? Are you afraid of yourself?
I'm afraid of what you are capable of, as the evidence before me stands.
There is no way back, Sloan. Only deeper. Must go.
Deeper where?
You know where you must go. You must go where I could not.
How do I stop it?
First,
Kind gesture.
first, you must find the golden ferronnier. That which we all seek. You must keep yourself whole, like I could not. I have failed in my task. I was so close. So close, Sloan. I could taste it. But if I unbar the gate now, there'll be nothing left. I will become entirely its minion. I have only managed to hold on to a thread of myself. If I unbar the gate now, then that thread will be cut.
How have you
Wilkin.
been? Oh, sorry.
I just didn't want to know, can we hear this? Can we hear the exchange?
Sure.
Okay.
How did you protect yourself for so long?
Book may have cost me my mind, but the knowledge it granted me saved me. Knowledge is the only defense. A friend he must have read.
at the cost of his sanity, his very being.
Small price to pay.
Is it? Is there anything else you can tell us? Anything that will aid us?
He looks down and you see now that he's holding the book in his hand, the Necronomicon.
Oh, I look away.
This has been my only solace, my only protection. Written in here are the scrawlings and scribblings of madmen. To things. Apoth has a master. Has a father and a mother. Yog-Sothoth. That creature which controls and birthed it. It's the only thing which it might listen to. There are many gates to be unbarred. First and foremost that of the mill, but secondly, that greater gate which men have sought to unbar for millennia. To lay oneself prostrate before Yog-Sothoth. That is what I have sought to do, but yet failed so miserably.
A kind gesture.
Yog-Sothoth requires sacrifice.
Do I, through my occult and everything, do I know what Yog-Sothoth is?
Roll me an occult.
I'll give that a go. What's my occult's really good. It's like 75, so fuck it.
Doodle do.
20. Fuck. No, I don't know. It's too much.
You may very well have heard of this being, but knowing what it is difficult when these things are impossible to understand.
Yeah. But I get the feeling that it's not good.
You certainly get the feeling it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But then
So
what
it
is?
failed. Yeah, that's true. So it failed for you. I will not repeat the same mistakes that you did.
Must use the others, Sloane. Use them. Our mind is more valuable. Secrets.
That is where you and I differ. We will find another way. And he's gonna, walk away from it and to the others and just shrug and indicate that he's done.
Now, wait a second, Sloane. If he can open up the gate,
Yeah.
then we might be able to spare what's left of Alan's mind and go through. Do you think we might be able to convince him to open it for us if we, I don't know, offer to put him out of his misery?
What if we offer to bring him back? He gets us through, and then we get the Fernier. We can bring him back. Maybe this is the final step that's eluded Sloane 2.0. Sacrifice. To save his mind in you, he has to sacrifice his mind in him. Gets us the rest of the way. We bring him back with the Fernier. Hell, maybe we even throw it out to the sideways us's.
He did say that him opening it would get rid of him for good. He would be completely gone.
The Fernier twists time, though.
It depends if he deems that a risk willing to take. You could always try, but I fear what he might turn into when he opens it.
We can destroy it before he has the opportunity to turn on us, and then we can use the Ferronnier, maybe, to bring him back. It's a chance. Look at him now. What kind of life is that? Barely a human being anymore.
If there's one thing that I know about myself, is that I go on as much logic as I possibly can. If he is anything like me, he will take those odds where he can. It's worth a shot.
Do you think it'll come best coming from you? It doesn't sound like he thinks very much of us.
No, I think it'll be best coming from one of you.
Oh,
Trust me.
well, great. Okay.
Which one of us do you like the most?
Unfortunately, the good doctor.
Yeah, take him out of the equation. Who do you like second most?
Either, whichever one. However, I do believe the good father is slightly more diplomatic than you, Jolly.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I knew
Well.
you would.
We need
Well,
the
okay
Ferronnier.
then.
We need the Ferronnier first. We need to get in.
That's right, Alan. We gotta get in, and I can't bear the thought of you opening that gate and doing more harm to yourself if we have another way.
But
Garen
I can open the gate.
Well, you can,
can.
but maybe there's another way. Maybe we can save your mind. We might need you in the future.
Wait a minute, Doc. Can you use the Ferronnier? Do you know how to use it? You know everything, right?
I
Pretty
do.
sure
See
you.
everything.
I know everything.
Pierce, you're
I know how to
pretty
use the
certain
Ferronnier.
if you had the Ferronnier, you'd know what to do with it.
I don't know. Like, do I have enough rationale to Can I use the Necronomicon to find the Ferronnier?
Sure. You just simply have to open and search for knowledge.
I can find it. I know where it is. I just need to look through the window. I just need to peek in the window. And
That wasn't the question, Doctor. Can you use it if we find it?
yes, I have the knowledge. It is here. It's here. My head is big enough. It has all the knowledge. Can't you see?
Yeah. It's disturbing. Not as disturbing as not being able to see your own legs, but still frightening.
Mm-hmm.
Padre, do you want to take the doc with you and talk to Sloan, other Sloan, while I stand out here at a relatively safe distance?
Well, yes, but you've got our backs if he comes out through that door, yeah.
Well, yeah, listen, Sloan doesn't want to say it. He doesn't like me. And I'm scared if I get close to other Sloan's not going to like me. And believe me, of those 4 bodies laying in on that floor, I guarantee I know who the first one was that hit it. Me. So if I go up there, we might have a pissing contest, and I can't see my pisser right now. So, we're a bit behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes some kind of sense to me. So, sure, yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm. It's a plan. The plan has legs. Unlike Kip, the plan has legs.
But come on now, Alan. We're gonna talk to other Sloan there. You stay behind me in case he makes a move.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Garen's gonna approach the door to see if he can see other Sloan.
Nice. Sure. As you do this, the 2 days, £15 didn't exactly help the Doctor, but maybe you have a chance to restore Garen's sword to normal size again. 3 wild magic surges for Garen. Also, sorry. And Isriva donates £5 for a wild magic surge for Sloan, and Mr. Pokey cheered to give Sloan and Dr. Pierce another crit. Thank you, guys. Let's look up these surges.
Wild magic surge for which Sloan?
For you.
Ah.
Alrighty, let's see. So Garen's 660, awfully close to the devil's number. Caster can't use magic for 1d6 rounds after being struck by magic. interesting. That could be bad. Your you know what he said about the weapon. Target's weapon teleports exactly 1d10 yards due north. That's awesome. I'll roll d10 here. It just jumps 9 yards to the north, which is towards the mill. It's like it's being magnetized and pulled towards it. The sword just being like dragged along the ground towards it. And then 30. Next spell caster casts on yourself also affects someone nearby. So if you were to cast some kind of warding spell on yourself, it would also cast on someone else. It's pretty useful. And then 9793 for Sloane. Someone nearby tries to swallow his own arm, elbow first.
Doc.
Everyone looks towards Dr. Fitz. Beautiful. So, as the two of you approach old Sloane, and you see him there, kind of blinded, older, tentacles staked behind his back into the ground behind him. Yes.
Garen's sword at that point pulls out of his hand and flings 9 yards towards the mill. And he assumes that this is something that other Sloane has done. So he very quickly fishes out his little vial of holy water, and he's holding it in front of him. And he says, Sloane, we wanted to talk to you. We have a plan that we think might work in all of our benefits, including yours.
And what might that be?
Well, you see, I overheard you say that you could unbar the gate, but that it will cost you the rest of your mind. Now, I don't know how you feel about your current predicament, but I can't imagine being like you are is very comfortable or something that you want to continue. So here's my proposal, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but you unbar the gate for us, and if you turn, if your mind goes, then we kill you. Now hear me out, this is the better part. When we find the golden Farinye, we use it to bring you back with your sanity maybe still intact. Maybe better.
For a golden Farinye to be used to bring back someone's mind. That, I have learned, is the greatest lie of all. Brings back one's body, but there is nothing left. It is a being of Abhoff's dominion. Nonetheless, this existence is not one which I crave to live any longer, and I am too cowardly to end it myself. So, in a way, I am saving myself here, so that I will live on in another's body. Very well. I will unbar the gate for you. I will travel with you there, but be warned. The closer we get, the longer we stay here, the more madness you bring with it. Abhoff will be sure to protect the gate.
Is there anything we can do to make sure that we are prepared to give you the mercy that you deserve, and also to protect ourselves against whatever Abhoff has in store for us?
When I unbar the gates, the ritual will begin. This may take me some time. During that, a call will go out to all of Abhoff's creatures. They will come for us, to stop us. You must defend us.
Well, that is something that we're as capable of as we can be. Now, you've read a lot of that book there, and he doesn't look to the book, but he gestures to where he knows it is. Our friend Alan here, his mind is not doing so well. Do you know Is there any peace for him? Is there any way back for him? Is there anything we can do for him?
That which is fractured is not so easily replaced. Do you think, if that were the case, I here would remain the same, with this tome of great power in my hands? No. If there were a way, trust me, I have looked. But there is not.
Well, all right then.
He is forsaken as I am too. He will become what I am now, given time.
And there's no way to stop him from changing like you've changed? We keep him away from the book?
The path we are on requires that we tread down it together. If he stops now, perhaps he could be saved. But we both know that there is no way to turn back. We are stuck in limbo. There is no turning back.
Garen will look to Alan then, and he'll say, well, I choose to have faith. Faith that, in time, we might find something that you couldn't find. That a higher power has more in store than this for Alan. But in the meantime, let's get to the mill. Let's do this, and we'll grant you the mercy you deserve, and you unbar the gate for us.
A kind gesture.
Very well. I will come with you.
Excuse me then while I gotta go get my sword. And he'll pull Alan away, and he'll kind of wave to Jolly and Sloan. He'll be like, other Sloan's coming. He agreed. He's gonna unbar the gate, and he wants us to end his unfortunate existence afterwards.
We end him like he ended us. Mm-hmm. Different
That's
versions,
right.
Same outcome. Same outcome, different versions. All things come back together.
Any
Also,
other catches?
Thank you to Latu for that £9 donation. I believe Sloan needs one of those stacks to be higher. Free. Oh, nat 20s for Sloan. My bad. I put it nat once. I'm terrible.
He did say that this Abhoth creature was going to waylay us, that we're gonna have to defend him while he unbars the gate. It might take some time. It sounds like we need to be ready to fight. Well,
Yeah, I think you're muted there, Tom.
I am muted. I am not much of a fighter. I feel that I would provide very little, but I will do what I can.
if you can keep an eye on Alan, make sure he stays safe during whatever happens. I'm weak and I'm tired and I'm sick, but I can still fight, and I've seen what Jolly can do. Well,
I will look after the good doctor.
Alright then. So you guys are gonna come take Sloan with you and head towards the mill. Alrighty. Sounds like a good idea. So you head out as the mists part past the statue of Sloan, and which still lies there. You swiftly are back as you're out of the courtyard into the fields of wheat, basically. This strange, diseased, rotting, grey vines and wheat which are out there, which you've cut your way through from here. So there is a clear shot back to the mill. And other Sloan travels at all times directly next to, behind, or just around Sloan 1.0. Seems very interested in being close to you. Or perhaps he just feels a kinship.
Will, can I
yeah.
roll a listen or spot hidden to kind of see if I can hear or see anything in the wheat? We had some, this is a target-rich environment last time. I want to make sure we're not going to get jumped by fish babies or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Roll me a listen check. Anyone that wants to be listening out can give that a check.
I'm probably going to be talking to the other Sloan, like what his life was like, if it was similar, what deviances there was, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Seems like he had the same life as you. Then he came to Arkham, and that's where your deviant, the deviation is, not your deviance. Your deviation is, and you get pulled into this sort of limbo space in the Miskatonic Valley. And you head, it seems like the closer towards the mill you get, the deeper into this realm you've gone. So at first, Arkham seems like normal life. You wouldn't even realize that you've headed out from it. And that it's very easy to go in and out of that place. You can leave Arkham, you can enter back into the space, which is kind of limbo-esque. And then the further you get towards this mill, the further you get towards Abhoff's lair, the more deranged and mad things become.
Okay.
Any successes on the listens? Yeah, Garen. Thank you, Frank, for that sub. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, you definitely hear that chorus of wailing fish babies in the distance. That kind of noise, just, that keening and wailing from the children. But they don't seem to be close. They seem to be about where the river should be. It's just a kind of chorus on the wind that you're hearing.
Jolly, there's fish babies in the river again, but they don't seem to be coming this way.
Okay, as long as they're in the river, that's good. Fish babies at our feet, or where I think my feet are, bad.
And do we have to cross the river? I can't remember, to get back to the mill?
No,
Or
not to get back to the mill. You've already crossed, yeah. Yeah, as far as you can tell, that they're still roughly in the same spot you saw them before.
And it's pretty late at night right now, right? Like, this is...
It's pretty getting closer towards dawn now.
Okay. I guess I continue to keep an eye out, and we'll keep going.
Yeah, you head back, and you get back to the mill, and you'll see that same eldritch symbol of the Elder Sign above and on the gate to this big mill. And of course, you get closer, that's where you see the fish babies, the children's heads, the bodies of fish, and the arms that come out of it, and they're being rotated around on the big water mill. Some of them being pulled up into that and sucked into it, crushed underneath it, and you hear their wailings and screamings as you come back. But you are back at the mill. The other Sloan says, "Are we here?" as he hears the screams.
Yup. We're here. Where do you need to be? Just in front of the door there, or?
Yes, I must touch the Elder Sign.
All right. How will we know if you're turning against us? Is there anything, any sign that we should be looking out for?
I know not.
And do you need the book in your hand as you're doing this?
Yes.
All right. Well, Jolly, should we be keeping guard?
Yeah. I'll make sure nothing comes up on us.
As subtly as possible, Jolly wants to keep our Sloan between him and other Sloan.
Okay.
Well, Sloan is gonna find the most well-hidden place. I know there's probably not going to be a lot of well-hidden areas, but somewhere low and out of the way as much as possible. And I'm going to keep.
You could get into the vines. That's the most cover you have right now.
I want to keep the mill behind, the wall of the mill behind us, so there's nothing that's going to come from behind, so everything's in front.
Okay.
And so that the two can only have to worry about what's in front of them too, and not worry about something jumping behind and
Yeah, you're pretty much
Killing.
in a clearing behind the. I guess in front of the mill, rather. In front of the mill, there is the Miskatonic River, which is flowing like sludge past and through the mill. And then kind of all around you, you've got like these fields of the grey, tall vines which obscure most things. So you're pretty out in the open here.
Yeah. So I'll just take him against the wall of the mill, and it doesn't give any cover, but at least I know something in front of me is going to come.
Yeah.
Unless they creep through the wall like aliens.
Good idea.
It's coming from inside the room, man.
Game over, man. Game over.
Okay. So Sloane, other Sloane says, "With your permission, I'd like to begin and get this over with."
Yep. I'm ready. If everyone else is, I'm ready.
He begins to mutter under his breath as he opens up the book, and a golden light shines out from it and illuminates Sloane's face. And he begins at first quietly to mutter and whisper to himself, and then begin to chant more boldly and more brazenly words in a language that which you can't understand aside from Pierce. These words resonate with you. These are words that you've heard before when you were reading to unbar the gate. He's casting a spell. And as he casts out his voice louder and louder, you sense the babies, the fish babies, begin to keen and wail as though they've heard like a very loud noise which is upsetting them. And they begin to kind of screech out in this chorus of hatred towards this noise, which is upsetting them. And clearly these words have a great deal of power, as you see the sign, the elder sign on the gate, begin to peel away, as though someone's just chipping away at paint, but nothing's actually, no one's actually there moving on it. It's just peeling itself away slowly, dissipating from the space. And the fish children, in this chorus of hatred, begin to pull themselves out of the river. With great difficulty and pain, because they have these like twisted, malformed arms. They are truly abnormalities and mutants. They kind of just drag their heavy bodies out, and you see sharp little fanged teeth in their mouths, and their hands are clawed and webbed, and they begin to like pull themselves out, perhaps hundreds of them, from this river, and just begin to pull themselves towards you faster and faster in this chorus of just desperate for this noise to stop. What do you guys want to do?
They are coming.
You said hundreds?
Perhaps hundreds, certainly dozens. The river is bringing with it more of them. It's like a non-stop like tide of them. If you imagine like a factory where it's just like a rotating belt of just things coming down, that's basically what you've got with this river. It's like a huge migration of them are coming down this river at all times. And it's like a slow, thick sludge they're pulling themselves out of.
And how big are they fish sized?
Like the size of a tuna, so like pretty big actually.
Garen will look aside to Jolly. He'll say, "There's so many of them. You have any ideas? This is not what I expected."
Yeah. From where we are to the riverbank, they're coming up through the mud, right? Will, that's their
big
like,
sticky
flopping
mud.
up toward-
They're not moving fast, but you have no idea how long this is going to take, Sloane.
Okay. Jolly would like to try something. Can I place the bat in the mud and try to freeze it? I'm going to try to freeze it around them as they're coming out, and as far down as I can, and maybe even into the water itself, to trap them in the ice.
Sure. Yeah, you could definitely give that a go.
Okay. I forget what we did before. Power
I think we were on
and
power before.
right. I'm going to nat 20 this.
Okay. Nice. So go ahead and describe that. It's not going to cover the whole thing. It's going to cover a large area of ground, though.
Okay, so much like he froze the river for them to cross when they were on their way here, he spins the bat, and as the tendrils of cold and frost come off of it, and the eldritch symbols that are on the side fire, and the Eye of Providence blinks a couple times, he sets it in the mud, and a frost that quickly turns to a binding ice. Almost like a glacier that you would see from an icebreaker up in the Arctic. It creeps out and captures limbs and fins and scales of these fish babies that happen to be maybe an inch or two in the mud. They get frozen and stuck fast as they're trying desperately to pull out of it. A few of them, of course, are the frost passes while they're out of the mud. Essentially, like you said, some of them continue to climb, but he tries to freeze it as far as he can, all the way down to the water and into the Miskatonic, if at all possible, to try to trap them in the ice.
A bunch of the, wailing fish babies are stuck in this frozen mud, unable to move, not harmed really in any way, but their arms have been frozen underneath the mud and the ice. They just can't break themselves out. You realize these things have a fair amount of power in their forearms. These things have to go through sludge, but they're stuck frozen by this ice. Still, more of them are coming beyond that because the river brings with it almost a constant tide of these fish children. So some of them are coming. You can tell are going to crawl over the top of those other ones and just still wailing and keening, coming towards you. But it certainly has bought you some time. And all the while, Sloane, other Sloane is just chanting in this strange alien tongue.
And he lost 3 sanity doing that.
Nice.
Garen will take his now Buster sword and thrust it into the dirt and step in front of it, and he'll pull out a small vial of holy water again. And if the creatures start to get close to the group, he's going to be ready to do something.
Yeah, Jolly, once everything's frozen, Jolly's going to step up and basically batter up. He's going to Tiger Woods these things if they get close.
Absolutely. What about Sloane and Dr. Pierce?
Well, Sloane will be standing in front of Dr. Pierce with his staff ready, and basically he's just looking and waiting for anything to come close so he can just bat it away, but trying to remain inconspicuous as possible, so they mainly pay attention to the other two.
Considering I've already have this spell in my head, do I have any rational time frame on how much longer it's going to take?
Yeah, you can roll me an occult here, Pierce.
All day.
Yep, you're the spell, but it does repeat itself a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a modern pop song. It does the chorus 10 times. You're waiting for the key change, but you're not sure that's come yet. So
I do have. Sorry, there is one thing that I would like to do. I would like to give Dr. Pierce a pen and paper and tell him to write down what he remembers.
Okay.
From the book.
Just everything that he remembers?
Well, anything that comes to mind that he feels would be important to write down and stuff. I know a lot of it might be just gibberish, but some of it might be some golden stuff in there that could help us. So, plus it'll keep his mind busy while the evil fish come to attack.
Yeah, why not? Keep him busy. Thank you for the host play forth. Okay, so you guys are beginning to, batter these creatures that are coming up. First, it's pretty easy. These things are, quite easily crushable with bats and with swords. But the problem being, there are just the two of you guys, and there are quite a lot of them. You've been going at these things for the best part of 5 minutes, just repeatedly smashing ones as they come. A couple of them will try and nibble at your boots and at your toes, because there are several of them begin to swarm, and they begin to be able to nip into your toes and stuff like that. For the most part, they don't seem like they're deadly creatures. They would truly have to swarm onto you to be able to bite you to death. But they're certainly irritable, and there certainly are a lot of them. and Sloan comes to like the height of his chanting and speaking, and you begin to notice the staked-in tentacles on his back begin to twitch and gibber, and they start to move as he gets towards the height of his vocal performance. And they see those milky tentacles begin to kind of shudder and move, first slowly, and then they begin to kind of writhe quite furiously. I'd say at this point, Kip and Garen are pretty well occupied with they're the two that are like holding the line right now, smashing the babies. It may be that Sloan and Pierce are the only ones that really take notice of this, because smashing fish babies requires a lot of focus.
Yeah. You know the tentacles, are they like aggressively swinging around?
At this point, they are beginning to like move, and they're trying to unstake themselves, if that makes sense, because they're all like
Shit.
on a one stake right now.
I'm going to call to Jolly and Garen and basically say, look out for the tentacles. And behind you.
And
Great. A
Pierce at
resplendent
this point
offering.
has filled up the paper with just gibberish and has moved up his arm and started writing it on his arm, and it's almost to the elbow. Could just have the desire to just like stand up and yell like stop. Like, what would that do?
You want to do that towards other Sloan?
Like all the tentacles on Sloane's back. Like,
Oh, you just shout at them to stop?
yeah.
They don't stop.
Okay. I don't know if had any leftover, whatever.
It's worth a shot.
Well, let's try it. I mean, Pierce
Yeah.
is fucking insane. Like, he might think that works. Like, he might be like, this is totally going to work if I just tell the tentacles to stop. It's very fine. Fangler, the 2 days, £20. Can we get, like, a holy panther of helpfulness type thing for Garen? Sure. Sounds dope. Holy panther. Right. So, Pierce, you shout at these things. One of them is going to try and swipe at you as it breaks itself free of the stake. It's just going to kind of... It just flies right over your head on a 90. But these things have reach, and they have killed you guys before in an alternate timeline. It just kind of flies over your head, and it's with the force of like a sledgehammer that it flies over your head. Like, it parts air, and like you can feel the wind just kind of on your hair as these things just break free of their stakes and start flailing round. They are close enough to Jolly and Garen to start flailing at them as well, for sure.
Okay. I'll be kind of fishing around in my pockets and stuff and look at Sloan and be like, we have to help them. We must guard ourselves for battle. We need to help them. And you see him pull out like that black mask that we got, and puts it on like a helmet, and pulls out his origami bird and just like throws it up in the air. Don't know what that thing does, but again, I'm crazy, so.
Cool.
Sloan is going to ensure that the good doctor does not get anywhere near those tentacles. And, like, not forcibly. Yeah, not forcibly, but encourages greatly with my staff to make sure he stays back.
So you're going to try and hold him back, basically, while these tentacles flail.
Yeah, so he doesn't go forward, yeah.
Alright, they're going to take some swipes at Kip and Garen here as this happens. So, Garen, one of them's going to smack you, another on Kip's going to miss. It's 3 of them that have gone this round, so a couple more. 1 on Garen, 1 more on Kip. So Kip manages to dodge both of these. They're going to land 2 hits on Garen, however. And that's going to be for a total of 6 damage that Garen takes as they just batter and slap him. And they're trying to trip you up as well, which makes it difficult because the fish babies are still coming and still trying to like nibble and bite and claw into you. And while they may be small teeth, they are as sharp as daggers. So you guys are really struggling right here.
As Garen gets slammed into the ground and the fish babies continue to come, he's gonna look up to Jolly and he's gonna say, Jolly, can you deal with Tentacle Sloan over there and I think I can turn back these creatures if I just have a moment.
Yeah, but we gotta let him finish. I can't bust his head open till the door's open.
Maybe just try to keep him off of me. That really, really hurt.
We need to break. We can't stand up here in front of this thing.
All right.
Let's let these fucking babies have him. So if Kip's gonna pull Garen away from the front line and yell back to R. Sloan and the good doctor to break for the other direction, away from the babies and away from other Sloan, to get out of tentacle range. Let him finish what he's doing. Let him worry about the babies. So that's Kip's theory. So he's going to pull Garen away from the front line.
Okay, so the two of you just kind of pull back past the tentacles, which are still kind of flailing around and trying to swipe at you and Alan as well. Let's cut to Alan. You watch as Jolly and Garen begin to just run past you, and you're still by the tentacles with your mask on, and the sign, the older sign on the gate, is almost peeled away.
Oh, stay. By the way, did that origami bird do anything?
Sure.
I don't know. I got it as a pet, so I just never have done anything with it.
Yeah. That was given to you by what's her face? Old Spoopy McGee lady. Yeah. The little origami burb just goes kind of like flutters down onto the ground, and you watch as one of the fish babies begins to play with it and then eat it.
Part of a balanced breakfast. Yes. Stay healthy.
Nice and fibrous.
Gotta keep moving. Always moving.
Do you want to stay?
When Jolly passes the doctor, he says for Pierce,
Get behind R. Sloan. Like directly behind R. Sloan.
Behind the Sloan. Yes, behind the Sloan.
No, R. Sloan. One without the shit.
You do as you're told, Viz.
Hang on. Yeah, so Pierce runs up and tries to grab the tentacles, and I'm going to use a nat 20 for the attack roll.
Great.
And basically, try to hug the tentacles so they can't attack everyone.
Yeah, you wrap yourself around them and pin them down with a vice-like grip, a strength that you haven't yet seen in Dr. Pierce, as his mad strength overcomes him, and he just holds these tentacles down. He's flailing on the back of the other old Sloan as he's casting this spell to reach out. Other Sloan, what are you doing? Hey, you might be muted there, buddy. Yep.
I've got to stop remembering to turn down my mixer to stop doing that. Okay, so Jolly and Garen have ran past him and are going in the complete opposite direction, while the doctor has gone to hug a tentacle.
Yes.
we're not too far off, but we are in a direct line. It's old Sloan, you, and then Jolly.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, the Vikings
Okay.
are on. Appreciate that.
I'm going to do something really stupid, but I mean, we're really close to opening this thing now, aren't we?
It feels it.
Yeah. Okay, so as the doctor's hugging the tentacle and everything like that, Sloane's gonna kind of approach the doctor who's hugging the tentacle and get in between the doctor and all the baby things coming towards him. And he's going to kind of throw his staff, and as he throws, it turns to the snake. And almost as if using his hands to control the snake as a weapon, he's going to just hold off using the snake like that. And I'm going to use a nat 20 for that.
Nice.
So basically just holding off all the babies while he's hugging this tentacle.
All right, yeah, you kind of flail that snake around, and they're they're smashed upon it. They're bloodied and beaten, carcasses thrown every which way. You are by the tentacles, but Pierce is holding on to them for now, and the other Sloan is just chanting and finishes, comes to a a peak, a finale, if you will, of one last note which is called out as the last bit of the sign on the gate is just peeled away, and you see the bar which is across it just burns off as well, just melting away, disappearing, and that's all that happens. The gate is not yet open. The sign has been removed, but you haven't opened the physical gate yet. There are a set of doors you still have to open, but the barrier is away. And you watch as Pierce is just like on his back, but at this point, as Sloane, you're like fighting away some of these babies. More of them are crawling up to Sloane's Sloane 2.0's leg, because there was a time where Jolly and Garen just left. They have crawled up him and they're starting to tear into his flesh on his legs and begin to cover him like a swarm of ants. This also, however, places Dr. Pierce in a great deal of danger.
The lock is broken. It's broken. Lock is broken.
Other Sloane has stopped now. Has he? He's not
He's
casting.
Sung out his final note, and he looks pretty spent. He's like sweat upon his brow. He's holding the Necronomicon, just clutching it in his arms like it's the last thing he's ever going to let go of. And Pierce on his back, his tentacles are flailing. They are clearly trying to break free. And I'm going to spend a natural 20, and the tentacles smack free of Pierce at this point, and they're just flailing around again. And he looks like he has lost it.
Okay. At that point, then, I'm going to turn around, pick up the good doctor, and head straight for the door to open. While calling back my snake and using it as a staff again.
Okay.
And as he helps me up, I'm going to use a nat 20 to grab the Necronomicon as we run by.
Nice. Love it. I love it. To actually pull him off, so I'm going to require a roll. Just a strength, just to pull him off. And pick him up and take him there.
Oh, crap. I'm not very strong, but I'll give it a go. Oh, I succeed.
Good.
Very well.
That's just as well.
My own strength.
I don't know my own body. These hands. Yeah, you just grab him up, pull him. Pierce just grabs the Necronomicon from the other Sloane's hands. He's being devoured by babies. However, as you two do this, you are going to take, in effect, an attack of opportunity from the tentacles, which are flailing on his back as you get close to him. So first one is for Pierce. That's a miss. Second one is for Sloane. That's a hit. Sloane, you are going to take a d6 here, or 4 damage. They seem to just be like, they're going after the babies as well. The other 3 tentacles are like smacking down these children, trying to like tear it off himself, but there are just too many of them. It's like a swarm of ants are just piling up all over him like fucking Indiana Jones 4. But way better than that movie. And you take the 4 damage, however, and you get smacked out. Kip and Garen, you are closer to the physical gates of the mill right now.
Garen's going to keep his word, and once the gate is unbarred, and he's had a moment to catch his breath, and get a grip on his sword, he's gonna stride forward, dragging the sword, and then he's going to try to heave it up and down and see if he can't go ahead and end the life of other Sloane.
Nice.
And I'll use a nat 20 to make sure that I'm strong enough to get that sword.
Yeah, you just like with all of you have been just doing these unearthly feats of strength in this combat, and you just heave the sword up and over and smacks it straight into the brain of the second Sloane as he just realizes, you see the shock upon his face as he can no longer feel the Necronomicon in his hands. A panic and a hatred erupts on his face, and then the sword just comes down and just cleaves him through, and the tentacles, still gibbering, just fly everywhere basically as his body is parted.
Are the tentacles still alive?
They're doing that like disconnected from nervous system like gibber out thing right now.
So he with a grunt puts the heel of his foot to the head of Other Sloan and pulls his sword out, and he says, "Be at peace, my child. Be at peace." And he'll turn to head towards the door with the others.
Nice.
Yeah, Jolly would have taken that opportunity to catch up to Pierce and Arslan.
Okay. Are we throwing open the doors?
Oh, they're not
Anyone?
open yet.
No. The sign has been removed, but no one has actually opened the physical doors.
Yeah, so Pierce will go right up to the door, Necronomicon in one hand, and just like press forward with the other, and try to push the door open.
I love how fearless Pierce is now. He's lost his mind. Yeah, it's just a door now, and you open it up, and there is a searing golden light inside, which instantly blinds you, all of you essentially, as you are looking towards it or running towards it. And after that brief searing of light, that golden light which is piercing out at you, a calm comes upon you. And indeed, the sounds of the wailing children dissipate and disappear away from you. And instead, they are replaced by those of people talking. A general hubbub and chatter is the first thing that you all hear. And there is some music playing as well. Kind of like a jazz track is playing on in the background. And as vision returns to you, you find yourselves in a ballroom, which appears to be very nice. There are people gathered all around. Many of them are suited. The ladies are wearing dresses. You would guess that you are, currently in the same time period. Everyone looks to be dressed the kind of way that you're used to be seeing people dressed. And everyone is carrying around these little cards with numbers on them on sticks, which you might recognize to be those of an auction house. And there are people smoking and people are drinking. Everyone seems to be like very happy here, or there's a general excitement in the room as four of you find yourselves in this place.
Does anybody seem to be taking notice of us? Because I imagine we look pretty bad right now. We look pretty ragged.
Some people are turning their kind of eyes towards you and like sniffing their noses. No one seems to be under the impression that you suddenly like appeared and like, what are you doing here? People assume that you've like come in here by the looks of things. They just think that you're a bit grubby, and certainly you look pretty crazy.
Now, is this like a normal ball or is it a masquerade ball?
It's a
Because I am
normal
wearing
ball.
a mask.
You are wearing a mask, which is definitely out of place. No one else is wearing masks around here.
Can we jump off into like a side hallway, preferably one towards the if there's a coat check?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. You can see like a reception area and coat check where people are still coming in. It's a very large hall. It's got several side chambers to it as well. And there are, you pick up all sorts of conversation along the way as you head towards that. I can't wait for this piece to be on display. I'm really hoping that we'll be able to get it. People are very excited. There's an ease of excitement around. You come to the sort of coat check area where it's pretty quiet and you're away from everyone else.
Okay, normally in an auction house, there is a list or a schedule of voiced auction items. They're usually printed or a trifold. Is there anything like that available? They're usually around the front when they come in and get
Absolutely.
their numbers.
Yeah, there's a like a pamphlet, I suppose, of different items which are to be sold today. Many of them don't really catch your eye, like old watch, bits and bobs, urns, pottery, stuff like that. There is the Golden Ferronnier is on sale today.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of the premier items or
Yeah,
is it like a mid card?
It is certainly the most, the top item on the agenda today. You will also notice that there are a fair other amount of occult items which are being sold here as well. There are copies of various tomes which are clearly about the occult, eldritch in nature, and several of these other items. You also notice that there is a what is simply described as a stopwatch is on display. and on for sale. But it's like the second tier item below the Golden Ferronier, so it's clearly very expensive.
Do we still have the Necronomicon and the watches that we procured from the other time period, or
You sure do.
We have 3 of the watches. Garen will check his. Is it still spinning
Yeah, faster than ever.
faster than ever? He's gonna hide it back so that nobody sees, and he'll say, "Alan, I think it might be a good idea for you to keep that book hidden, not let anybody here know that you have it."
It's my book.
It is. So we don't want anyone to take it from you. So maybe keep it hidden, like underneath your shirt or somewhere.
Garen, Sloan is going to visibly move away from the doctor. He is not happy that the doctor has it. Not happy at all.
So yeah, he'll just like kind of tuck it under his jacket, like under his arm, but he still like has both hands on it.
Well, if wherever we are, which I'm not even sure it's a real place, the Golden Ferronier is going to be up for bid, I can only imagine what sort of individuals are going to be out and about trying to get their hands on it. Maybe the best course of action is to not let it get to bid to begin with.
Perhaps. The way you're suggesting we steal it.
Well, yes, I don't trust anyone else to get their hands on that artifact.
We don't even know what these things are. We don't even know where we are.
Alan, do you have any sense of where we are right now based on some of the things you've learned?
You are fairly sure that you're in Abhoff's dimension, but that could basically mean anywhere.
We are outside the 4 realms. We are beyond normal time and space. We are among them, among him, constantly hungry.
So I think it's safe to say that these people here are not people.
Not people at all.
No. When we saw the people, was there anything like visibly odd about them? I don't know, like
Nothing seems to be strange about the people in appearance. As far as you can tell, you're in a little corridor right now, but you can look out. There's people going by. There's no disfigurement or.
Yeah. What about their actions? Are they doing anything weird? I don't know, like drinking blood, eating little babies, or something that just seems off. I will go in. I will look in from the corridor.
You can roll me a spot hidden to see if there's anything particularly peculiar that people are doing.
I'll give it a go. What's my spot hidden? Roll 20's thinking about it. Bear with me.
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, I rolled an 18.
Nice.
That is a good success.
You don't spot anything in particular which these people are doing, which is clearly just bizarre. I mean, when you look at a crowd full of people and you're looking for weird things, you're bound to find some people doing some odd things. But really, it's all within the scope of normal human behavior.
Okay.
Will, towards the front, there should be an assignment number book where someone signs up, they're given a number, and then they'll know that that person is the one bidding for it, so they're not yelling out someone's name constantly. Can I find that book, and can I see if I can recognize any of the names, particularly Wizard or Squire Waitley or Watley or anybody else that we've come across or heard about? Or
Absolutely. There are a couple of names which draw the eye here. On a fairly long list of people who are going to be bidding on the stopwatches and the Golden Ferronier included are Squire Waitley, Dr. Aurelia Smith, and a woman of a very long name in a script which you recognize as being that of Luz. This is clearly one of her alter egos. She's put herself down. It's like Madeline Wiggins III, Queen of Bohemia and the Seven Kingdoms, you know.
Hey, Lou's here.
Oh. Should have known she would find a way into a priceless auction.
With any luck, she already has the golden Fernier. She's probably wearing it.
I could find it, by the way.
At that point, Sloan will actually, for the very rare occasion, smirk and give out a little chuckle.
I could find it, I think.
Yeah, we can find it too. It's going to be on the stage here in a bit. I look at it this way. Lou would tell you the same thing were she here. If you want to nick this thing, you can either do it before it's sold or after. Before, you got a bunch of people that have a financial obligation and they tie to this thing. After, you got one. So the numbers are on your side to go after the gavel drops.
I will defer to your judgment on this.
I think you've got a good idea there, Jolly, but I also don't want to run into this Aurelia Smith again, not after the last time we saw her. Now, so far, I don't know who all has seen us, but we've been afforded a little bit of privacy. Are there any any windows to the outside? Like, are we able to, like, can I see, like, is there more?
Yeah, you could look outside a window. It's looks like a small town or a fairly large village. It looks like the same countryside as you've seen previously. You would put yourself, at a guess as somewhere near Arkham or Dunwich.
Okay.
It's all like verdant green golden light outside though, which is not something that you've been accustomed to at all in a place like Arkham.
Mayhaps it's the right course of action is to keep a low profile until it's time for the Ferronier's bid, and then to make ourselves present so that we aren't ahead of time.
I agree. Gather information, where they keep it after it has been won, security.
There's a couple ways. Lou's the best one for this. She can run cons. She can do all kinds of shit. She's here, so maybe she's doing just that. But if you want to run this as a con, we have some collateral here. We have these 3 stopwatches. They seem to be of high demand here at the auction house. Don't know how they run things here, but if we can get them introduced as additional items for auction, maybe we can actually make a legit play for the Ferronnier.
It would certainly make our presence legitimate.
One of us.
Dr. Pierce,
One of us.
roll me an idea roll real quick.
And that's just intelligence?
Intelligence, yeah.
That's a hard success.
Yeah, you know that like the Golden Ferronnier is super sought after as are the stopwatches, but you have the Necronomicon in your hands. This thing is worth like 10 million times more what these items are worth. Obviously, you'd never sell it because it's your book.
It's priceless. It's a priceless book. This book right here. Sloan doesn't want me to have it.
I don't want anyone to have it.
I definitely do not think that we want
Thank you, my friend.
sorts of people that are here
Shit.
to have it. They're very, very dangerous.
Yes, I don't think we should advertise the fact that we have such a rare item in a place where they sell and auction off rare items. That would make us a target.
Well, I think the first thing we have to do is figure out where they're keeping the Golden Ferronnier. Yeah? No matter what, we're going to need to find it and know where to go get it.
Yes, I agree.
Find the biggest guys you can find. They're probably guarding it.
Well, if Lou were with us, this would be a great job for Lou. But seeing as she's not, I think I might actually be the best person for that portion of the work. I'm pretty light on my feet.
Do we want to go legit with this? Do we want to put the watches into the rotation here?
I would like to have some legitimacy for us being here. It avoids unnecessary questions.
Well, Sloan, no offense here, but we're not sure exactly when or where we are. Your involvement in wanting the Ferigny might be known. You know, with Squire and Aurelia Smith, they might know you want it. Oh, that's Sloan. Sloan's after it again. Why don't we give you the watches? You put them up for auction. Whatever you get or however they pay you here. That's your collateral. And you sit down and go toe-to-toe with Squire or whoever the hell else is bidding on this thing. We sit back and watch how it plays out.
I agree, that could work, yes.
And
He hands
now,
over his pocket watch.
Garen has the other two, and he'll hand one of them over too, and he says, now if the number 2 item on the ticket is just one of these watches, then maybe we only need to put 2 of our 3 up for collateral, just so we can hold on to one in case we need it.
Yes. Do they allow us to look at these? I have never been to an auction myself, so I do not know.
Yep, I've never seen one either.
You'd have to ask.
It depends. They usually show.
Curious if the other stopwatch was similar to ours and it is going haywire, I believe is the right term. However, to get a look at these items should be quite important as well. And it will give us an idea on where they are. So I'm going to have a look around for anyone that's like of an official nature, you know, like a helper.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
there are attendants around, and so a girl on the desk, the reception desk, who you spot. She kind of looks over at you, looking like you need to speak to someone. She says, "How can I help?"
Good. He'll try and look out the window. I'm here to auction 2 certain items and perhaps purchase some myself.
Well, auction items. It really should have been done before now.
Yes, I'm terribly
Very
sorry.
late admission. I'm not sure that Mr. Chapman would be happy about that.
Well, after Mr. Chapman sees what I have, I'm sure I can persuade him otherwise. May I have a word with him?
You can roll me a persuade here.
Shit. Oh, nat 20.
Good idea.
I'm not risking that.
I was thinking this campaign, Redundant's chosen to play a character who takes it slow and creepy so that we don't make fun of him for taking it slow and creepy.
That's right, yeah.
Own it.
Own it, yeah. Nice. She's like into creepy dudes. She kind of like smiles and is like, well, if these items really are of high value, then I think we should definitely get Mr. Chapman to see them. If you would come back here with me, we'll go into the private chambers.
Yes, of course. However, I do have my friend with me that I would like to accompany me, if that is okay.
She looks towards... Who are you pointing to?
I'm going to point to the group. I'm going to look to the group and see who wants to step forward. Please, not you, Doctor.
It's like willing him not to come towards him. Like,
I'm going to look at the Doctor.
Oh, you need
Jolly will come with you if you want.
Yeah, right.
You need the book.
We're about the Necronomicon.
Yes, you need to- there we go.
You want to read through?
Go on, if you want, Jolly can come. He could be protection.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Best.
So she
Yeah.
smiles and says, "Come on through." And she kind of like gets a key out from her pocket, unlocks the door, which is kind of behind the reception. She lets you through, and she closes and locks it behind her, places the key back into her pocket. So Garen and Pierce are left behind outside. So Sloan and Jolly, the sounds of the kind of party going on outside of the auction house fades away, and you enter into more quiet chambers. And in here is a room with a fair amount of bodyguards in, who you'd expect to be bodyguards. Either they're heavy guys, they're possibly armed at the very least, like big stocky dudes, and there are about 5 of them in here, and they're pacing around these different items which are in glass cabinets, which look to be locked down at the moment. So they're look fairly well protected in this room. There's another man in here. He would place to be in his 70s or so, and he's wearing a suit and he's smoking a cigarette, and he's down by reading by a book and writing different bits into it. He kind of turns around on a swivel as you three approach, and he says, "Yes, what can I help you all with? Gabriel Chapman, a pleasure to meet you."
A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Chapman. My name is Sloan, and I wish to put forward some lots to your auction.
That is very late for a new admission.
It is, I'm afraid. However, after you see what I have, I am sure that you can be persuaded to auction off these. And he will show him one of the stopwatches.
His eyebrow raises. I see. I will have to verify if this is a genuine piece, of course.
Naturally, I would expect nothing less. Would you like to take it now?
Indeed. He looks at it with a hunger in his eyes. You can see like the glint. Perhaps it's greed, perhaps it's something else. And he kind of smiles as he looks at it and kind of opens it up and starts to kind of root around and look at it. He gets like the monocle on. He starts to, like he's looking at a precious gemstone and starts looking at it. I see. Seems like the genuine article. What did you say your name was?
Sloan.
He's holding on to the stopwatch, by the way.
Sloan.
Sloan. And your full name? I will have to record it, of course.
Just Sloan.
Very well. Now, these pieces are going up for a fair amount of value, Mr. Sloan. Is it money that you're looking to make today?
For a start, yes. But perhaps other things could catch my fancy. It depends on what's there to offer.
He looks perhaps a little disappointed. Very well, and I shall put your name down and we will auction this off on the hour.
Thank you. I wish to ask, obviously I wish to partake in the auction myself, buy potentially a few trinkets of my own. I want to ensure that what I buy is secure. You understand. Where would they keep those?
We keep them in this very chamber, Mr. Sloan. Under lock and key, of course. Usually only if we let those who we know have money in to see. You may take a quick glance around, though beware. Sometimes something catches the eye so much one does not wish to look away.
Yes. Thank you very much. That is very helpful. And he'll kind of shift the other pocket watch into his pocket and just go over to Jolly. And, browse around and go over it. And I didn't need to use the second.
The entire time that Sloan was talking, Jolly had his arms crossed in the back, making direct eye contact with any of the bigger guys that were in the room, but paying attention to what Chapman was saying the whole time. And as soon as Sloan comes over to him, he says,
He wanted you to make him an offer.
An offer for what?
He don't want one of these things going to auction. You give him both of those watches for the Fernier right now.
Oh.
Happens all the time.
Excuse me, Mr. Chapman. And
Yes,
he's gonna. Can we see the
The
in the
Fernier.
yeah.
Indeed, you can. There you go. Sorry, I broke up for a second there. Yeah.
Mr. Chapman.
The Ferronnier
Oh,
itself,
sorry,
I think the snow is fucking up my internet a bit today because everything's frozen. Yeah, the Ferronnier itself is in a glass cabinet on its own. It is a small, it almost looks like a dish bowl at first, but now it looks a bit more Aladdin-y, lampish. It doesn't have that same like pouring kind of thing on a lamp. It looks more like just like a pot, I suppose, with a top on it as well, which is like sealed and closed down. It is golden and it has patterns on it which swirl and move. At a guess, you would say that it's the Elder Sign, which is like swirling and moving across it, and it too seems like a window into another world, like that of the Necronomicon, and it is the exact same golden glow as that of the Necronomicon.
He's gonna go over.
Of note also, before I forget, is that it is about the same shape as the window in the Necronomicon, and that it is ovular.
Oh, what? How convenient! Purely a coincidence, I'm sure.
Very coincidental, most definitely.
Yes.
I'm mad I brought that.
It's a good job too. This item here. What can you tell me about it?
You're mentioning the golden Ferronnier.
Yes, to Mr. Chapman.
Well, it's a item of great significance here in the Miskatonic Valley. Once belonged to the Waitley family. It comes from their particular brand of gold which they found in this area, said to be found long before that which modern man settled in the Miskatonic Valley. Rumor has it that it is from the people who came before, the Hyperboreans, who first found this particular strain of gold, which was mined deep beneath the hills in the Miskatonic Valley. Nowadays, of course, it's mostly just different farms, mills that have been built on top of those hills.
Very interesting. And such an item would call for a significant purchase, yes?
Indeed, yes, it is the most significant item we have had on the list for a great deal of time. Many people come to our place here seeking it. And well, it seemed like the time was right. The stars have aligned, if you will, for the time for the golden Ferronnier to be sold. Many of the bidders here are gentlemen like yourselves, those who are seeking something else, perhaps those who have been dragged into something they didn't quite realize at first, and others still are those powerful and influential enough to bring themselves to this place. They thought that they could bring themselves back, of course, but a journey to Dunwich is not one which one ever returns from, unless you have the Ferronnier.
At this point, Jolly's actually going to say something. And he says, powerful and influential people vying for one thing. That could get messy.
Oh, no doubt it will.
These pocket watches, you see you have yours here. We have ours that we just offered you. In relation to the Ferronnier, what are they worth? They can take you places.
Oh, normally they could if we were anywhere but here. They have great significance when we are out of here, but while in Dunwich, they have less value. More of a museum piece, if you will. And one only ever needs one.
So it's worth like half for the Ferronnier?
Not even that.
Like a third?
Keep going.
Well, I have a question for you. How are you going to pick a winner for this? Whoever wins the auction? Influential and powerful people do not like to be told no, even when they have been beaten.
The master of this place has a way of seeing to all challenges that there is one worthy winner. You see, I have a feeling, my friends, that perhaps you are unfamiliar with our rules of auction. One does not bid with one's money or coin. One bids with one's life, flesh, blood, soul. There will only be one winner. Proceedings begin on the hour. Things were very likely to get very messy.
Agreed.
Thank
What are you and your boys gonna do? Sit back here? Watch it play out? Are you bidding yourself, Gabriel?
He nods. We all bid.
We'll see you out there then.
Perhaps you will.
Who is the owner of this fine establishment?
Gives you a kind of knowing look. I think you might have an idea.
Yes, I probably do. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. You have been most helpful.
A pleasure, Mr. Sloan.
And Sloan will walk out, hopefully with Jolly.
Alright, he lets you go, and you enter back into the more bustling auction.
I'm gonna meet up with the. We're gonna head back to the others as well.
Yeah, you see Garen and Pierce.
We're going to need to size up our competition.
So during this interim while they were in there, Garen's sort of resting and catching his breath. He's got his sword still, but he's kind of keeping it as hidden as he can. It's hard to hide, but I would like to use some of my healing, my D10s of healing to recover a bit.
Terrific.
I'll use another one too. I got him. Cool. And he's been keeping an eye out for anybody who looks familiar. And in particular, he's looking for Lou. But if he sees Aurelia Smith or anybody like that, he just wants to note where the big players are.
Okay. You don't immediately see from where you guys are in this very big hall where, like Squire Waitley, you haven't seen Dr. Aurelia Smith yet. You don't know exactly where they are. You can have a search around the area if you wanted to, of course.
Nah, he'll wait for the others to come back.
Okay, you guys. You see him. Yeah, go ahead, Biz.
I was just gonna say that I was gonna heal also, like use mine.
Sure. Nice. All right, so
do we get?
Yeah, Jolly and Sloan come back. Go ahead, Jolly.
Do we get other heals from Kiana at the beginning of the show?
Yeah,
Is that what I heard?
Yeah, you'll go 1d10 healing at the beginning of the show.
Okay, just sorry. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I had one from last time,
Mm-hmm.
so I used both of mine.
Cool.
But unless Garen stops me, like Pierce is gonna start just kind of walking around and looking at people and checking out the room.
Alan, try to stay close, okay, until we're all together again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. No, we diverge and we collapse back. We like the tide. It ebbs and flows, and it all comes back. Don't worry.
Yeah, if he wanders off too far, Garen will at least follow him to keep him from like wandering out into the crowd.
Okay. Absolutely.
Jolly will stay with the doc.
Okay. Yeah, Sloan and Jolly come back and meet up with the rest of you guys outside.
Any luck in there?
We auctioned one of the pocket watches, and he hands back the other one. I'll give it to Jolly because he did hand one of his. So, if Jolly wants it,
Of course.
Yeah.
I love stuff.
We seem somewhat legitimate. We know where they are keeping the items of interest, and we saw what we came here for.
You saw it?
Yes. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is not an auction in a sense that we thought. This is an auction bidded through blood and pain and the very being. This is a last man standing auction. Whoever's the strongest wins.
Like gladiators? What are you talking about here?
You didn't
Don't
write
know.
specific details, but I imagine we will have to fight tooth and nail to survive.
I don't like those odds.
Which is why I believe we should size up the competition, get a feeling for who we are up against.
I'd like to know the
Hey, Doc-
rules too. Are they? And he'll pick up one of the pamphlets. Is there anything like, I don't know? Do they tell us like how this works?
Yeah, nothing below the belt.
Good for Kip.
There are no rules printed, unfortunately.
Well,
You
they
do-
did say that only one person can win. So if you bid on an item, you either die or you get the item.
Mm.
Yeah, not everyone is signed up to bid here, you're pretty sure. So some people may not be involved.
Well, that means that only one of us should bid and be involved with whatever this thing is, their sick version of an auction. If there's only one winner, I don't
Thank you,
want to.
Brand.
We shouldn't compete amongst ourselves.
No. But it doesn't say that if one person bids that they cannot have help from others. Or at least, not that we know of.
At this point, everyone can roll me a D100 from 4 brands, 5,000 share, appreciate my man, to roll on a table of most things bad.
Bollocks.
I think at the end of the endless week, we'll change out the table for next month. So Thursday, we'll still
We
have
all
a table of bad things. All right, everyone. 61 from Pierce. Ooh. Dr. Pierce, the night has been particularly dry. You wake up with cracked, bleeding lips and a dry thirst. This makes sense. He has been frothing at the mouth a lot. And
Yeah.
Need a martini. Need a dry.
Yeah. For a while.
He's on his 64 redundant. A neglected and beaten mule wakes up the party with its pained bleating.
Oh.
I'll bring that in here in a second.
Oh.
81. Oh. A random PC accidentally has slept on a poisonous plant. Appropriate to the environment. I wonder what that could be. I'm going to roll a d4 for us. 1 is Sloan, 4 is Pierce, is based on my overlay. So... It's Pierce. Pierce? You know how you got rid of that fungus? There's like a rash on your arm, and it's like the green kind of like scaly fungus stuff has grown on your arm. It's like cracked and dried onto it. It's real nice. And Garen. Oh, I love this. A warning sign stands 9 feet high. Written underneath is all under this line, eaten. So these people just bring out this massive like sign as it gets to like half an hour, like the sets to being on the out, and just bring out the sign, and it's basically up on it are like the rules of competition. Which are, if you're involved, basically just read in big lines. Anyone under here, throw bodies here, basically. And there's like a pit stage area that they bring out. So like throw your dead up down here. Bring out your dead. Awesome. Also, at that point, as they bring that out, they bring out this old, beaten, bedraggled horse. which just looks like so sad. It's clearly been whipped and beaten, and his, poor thing's got all his old wounds over it, where it's like whip marks have like lashed it and stuff like that. And they just kind of bring that out and put it by that area as well. And there's attached to it like a cart, so there really is like a corpse wagon attached to the back of this mule.
Does that mean it's starting?
Still got half an hour based on what Chapman said.
I think they're just preparing.
Just the appetizers. That's
Everyone like looks over, all of the other guests, and they begin to like applause, like, haha, very good, very good, excellent.
Hey Doc, you know where the Golden Fernier is, right? You can feel it.
I'm pretty sure I can find it. I can see it if I.
Well, we
I
know
will.
where it is.
I got a question, Doc.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if you thought about it enough, maybe if you're holding your book, if the Fernier would come to you, would it find you?
Will, do I think it would find me?
Hey, roll me an idea roll.
Ooh. Success!
Yes. You think that it would. You think
If I thought hard, if I
yeah.
read the passage and I found it, if we could bring it together.
You definitely have to read the book though.
We could find it.
Charlie, if he reads that book again, there isn't going to be anything left of him.
I could find it. I can do this.
Padre,
Do no harm.
if we bid on this thing, we're getting torn apart. Have you seen the shit that's come after this thing? Aurelia Smith, how many cops did she kill? That was just her. We're going in there against Squire Whately and her?
You were in that room. I didn't see that room, but do you think there's a way? Do you think there's a way we could just take it, steal it?
Not from those guys.
No.
Nah, they didn't look away. If you're big like that, you get the eyes. Eventually you'll look away if you don't have it where it counts. Not one of these fuckers looked away.
What if we created a distraction or something, tried to get them out of there? I don't know. I can't. I don't want to condemn the doctor. He's a good man. He does not deserve this.
I agree. This is a moral dilemma. One of us goes in there to get torn apart by Aurelia Smith, and hey, if it's me, it's me. If that's what you guys think, I can tell you this, I ain't gonna win. Bat or no bat, they're gonna tear right through me. This might be the only way to get it. Have the doc call for it. Maybe let the auction start. Let them get frothy over one of those watches. And then we see.
You hear Dr. Allen like trying to slip away, but you catch him.
Alan, hold on a second. We got to talk through this. We're a team, right? You and us, we're together.
We're a team. We're a team, Darren. We're friends. We're
friends.
I swore to do no harm. I swore to do no harm, and I can do no harm. Let me read the book. I can do this. I can bring it to us. I can save you.
Sloan, you know more about this than I do. The things of this nature. What if he reads the book? Do you think that's it for Alan here?
Yes. I think that is it. To be honest, I think he's already gone too far. He will never be the same man again. Perhaps, with the help of Caligula and many, many years of intense therapy, maybe he could turn out somewhat like me. But I assure you, there is a non-existence that is pleasant. However, the thing that we want is one of the last auctions Perhaps we should observe the earlier ones to see what this bidding is like.
More information is always good. Maybe Lou will show up, or maybe
In
we'll
7 minutes.
we'll see a chink in the in the security here or something. Alan, will you wait? Will you wait until we know more? Don't open that book yet, okay? Alan?
But I can do it.
Well, I know you can. But it's all about doing it at the right time. And we need
Kind
more
of like
information.
Eyes with Garen. There is no time here, Garen. There is no time. We're walking down a path that is narrowing behind us. There's no going back. There's only going forward.
Look at it like this, Doc. If we don't do it when we're supposed to do it, someone might get hurt. A lot of people might get hurt. You don't want to do any harm. We want to do this with the fewest amount of people, even these weird fuckers, getting hurt. And you know what? Someone just said it, so I'm going to say it too. We got one thing that we're not counting on. We can either go for the bid, we can go the Doc's way, we got a wild card. Fucking Lou. If anybody could walk into that room and walk out with the golden fucking Farigny, it's Lou. Who knows? Maybe she already has it.
The question we must ask is, do we want to risk Lou with such a thing? I assure you that those things in there will not hesitate or hold back. And that's all we see, what hides beneath, what hides locking those cabinets. I can't imagine that a simple lock is what protects those things.
If we can't find Lou, we can't stop her.
That's a very good point. I strongly recommend we find Lou before she harms herself.
She likes gold and shiny things.
Oh, you
That's
know,
the shiniest gold fucking thing I've ever seen.
You know, she is, she's going for it.
Is it as shiny?
Right.
Yes.
Put that away, Christ, Doc. That's chum in the water here.
I think going to this auction, watching some of these bids, getting an idea of more about what this place is. Maybe Lou will show up. Maybe she'll bid. I think that's our next step.
I agree.
Has she
Let us
signed up?
watch an earlier bid.
She signed up to bid, yeah.
Sign up?
Oh, yes, she has. So we are all agreed we are to watch an earlier bid.
Yeah. We watch an earlier bid, we see how it goes down. We see everybody else that's sitting in the room. Anybody that's gonna bid at any point in the auction has to be there at the beginning. We'll see who our competition is. They ain't gonna bid on this horse shit or the watches. They're gonna be waiting for the Farigny. We know where we stand then. We wait for Lou. She might walk up, tap us on the shoulder, and be holding the fucking thing. If that happens, we run like hell. In case of emergency, though, we got to at least entertain the idea that the Doc calls for it.
That, I would imagine, is last chance.
Our plan F, if you will.
Yes. Let us go. I think it's starting very soon, and we want good seats.
Okay.
And we try and find where the hell this thing's being done.
Yeah, you can make your way through a crowd, and you kind of sense a general ambling of people toward, shifting of people towards one of these stages which has been set up by the horse. And people are watching on eagerly. Many of them look like they're just here to watch and are not participants as so much as viewers of this sport which is about to happen. And you see a couple of people step up onto the stage getting ready. There's a younger man, and he's wearing this very nice kind of noble's attire. And there's a older woman by him with long black hair, which falls down, way beyond her shoulders. She seems fairly venerable and stands opposite him as if they were to duel. And as the auctioneer calls out the bid, which is on some lower tier item, not on one of the stopwatches or the Ferronier, you see the two of them just begin to rush into one another and begin to tear at one another with just their claws, basically, just their hands ripping one another apart and just brutally beating one another. The crowd begin to chant and enjoy this blood sport as you see the younger man just basically beating on this older woman, and he quickly overpowers her, begins to smash in her skull just with his fist. She falls down onto the ground, and he begins to just kick her repeatedly as she coughs up blood. Eventually he stands over her and just begins to throttle her neck, and then snaps it with one brutal twist. Then he doesn't stop. You see him clawing at her eyes and just pulling out her eyeballs. He goes in for her tongue, and with a sheer amount of strength, which is inhuman in nature, tears out the tongue. Everybody can roll me a sanity check as you witness this.
Nat 20.
Oh dear. Pierce, you want to use your last nat 20 here? Do you believe?
I risked it for the biscuit,
Risk it
and I
for-
passed.
Oh! Nice. Pass from Garen? Pierce, what we're doing?
Yeah, I'll use my last nat 20.
Okay. So everybody manages to pass as the crowd just bay for blood, and this old woman's tongue is ripped out and he lifts it aloft like a trophy. The auctioneer smiles, and you notice that this is Chapman. Gabriel Chapman smiles as he's gotten some blood has come up onto him and is on his face. He seems quite happy by that, and just hands over a wooden box which he opens and shows him. The gentleman smiles, looks inside, and takes the box. It seems like a fairly brutal non-weapon, at least that one, just attack. But neither of them had any weapons on them. And Chapman says, "And on to the next!" And they go to another stage and begin to perform more acts of barbarism and brutality against one another.
And that was the first auction.
You see Pierce just kind of start walking away from that, just shaking his head, just do no harm. That's harm.
Dear God. Garen will follow Pierce. He's not, he won't make him watch it, but he doesn't want to let him wander off on his own.
Yeah, I was going to say Jolly follow too.
Mm-hmm. Slow-mo as well.
But curiously, as they go on to the next one, does it seem like the next one's also one person versus one person, or is it a group?
There are a group in the next arena on the stage. There are a lot of people involved in this one, and there's some of them look to be on the same kind of in the same area. Some might be on the same team, but when the auction begins, you just see they're like bloodhounds. They all just go on each other, and there's no friendship. There's a madness in their eyes, as if they're overcome with just hatred and anger and greed for the item which they're bidding for, and they just tear each other limb from limb. One man is huge and just rips off an arm, just like hacks at it. You can see that he has a blade. Many of these people have blades and daggers with them. Even if you hear a pistol shot go off, he just like hacks off an arm and starts battering people with the arm until at last he is the only one left standing after like a 10-minute combat, during which is a fury and frenzy from the crowd as they're covered in blood and watch the sport continue, and he is the winner of the next item. You notice that this man in particular, he's huge, broad-chested, tattoos all over him. It looks like he has skin, like hardened skin, which has been like stitched onto and over his own as a protection.
Well, the auction's not an option for us. That's for sure.
And the Vikingtron gives 2 nat 20s to Dr. Pierce here.
Sorry, what was that?
2 nat 20s for Pierce from the
Oh,
Vikingtron.
well then.
Thank you, my friend. Now he can enter the combat, right?
Nat 20, nat 20.
Go get him, Doc.
Just bludgeon people to death with the Necronomicon.
That leaves us with 2 options then, right? We've got the book, and we've got our wild card.
Fucking Lou.
Both is... Well, I think we have come to agreement that we are going to steal this thing. Before we steal it, perhaps we should work out an escape plan. I'd rather not steal it and be stuck inside this location.
Well, it seems like there's a town, at least what appears to be a town to the eye, just outside, and Garen will check. Is there a door to the outside? Can it open?
Yeah,
up?
there are big doors to the outside, which look like there is an actual place outside.
So at the very least, once we have it, we can make a run for it until we figure out how exactly it works.
We have to do this quietly. If we do this loud, we will not leave this building. We will not get far.
Hey, were any of those folks there tearing each other apart? Any of them the same as the guys you saw inside who were working security?
Didn't
Were they?
seem like they were, no.
No.
Did we see Lou or somebody dressed like Lou somewhere in the bidding tank?
You have not seen sight of Lou. But not
God.
sound.
And that's another thing. I'm very, very worried about Lou. I mean, if we're gonna steal it, that assumes that she's okay. That we can even.
We could call this thing, the doc could call this thing to her, and she could be drug along with it, she could be holding on to it as it's,
It's true.
she's doing something. If you don't see Lou, it's bad news.
Yeah.
Okay, if you do see Lou, it's bad news. But, we can only assume if she's not seen, Lou's doing her thing.
And Fader stumped and it's £12. I'd better get her on this as well. 1 nat 20 for Dr. Pierce, 1 for Garen, and 3 for Jolly. Thank you, my friend. Stump-o-matic. Thank you, my friend.
Dumb, my man.
Well, if we're gonna make a move, I feel like we should do it before this auction gets too much further along, while everyone's still kind of paying attention to these early moments, these early bids.
We basically, when the person won, they were given immediately what they want, right?
Correct.
We can't afford to wait. Yeah, we can't afford to wait. What I worry about is that I think Mr. Chapman was one that could potentially go in for it as well.
Garen will look to Al and
I fear that we may not have a choice. The golden Fayonne can get us out of here, yes.
A kind gesture.
That Mr. Chapman said that is the only way to escape.
That's
Only
why
way out,
everyone
yeah.
wants it.
Yes. The question is,
Thanks,
once we
Tom.
have it,
Appreciate it.
how do we use it? You see, we may need time to decipher it.
No time here.
Well,
The
let me rephrase that. Time
The book
before
will
they
tell me.
rip us to shreds.
I believe the book will tell me. It has already told me. I just need to find it.
Yeah, Doc says he can use it. I thought it was to bring somebody back when I asked him before, but maybe it's to use it to get us back to our place.
Then I suggest our best bet is to let the good doctor look for how to summon it and then how to use it.
Alan, you can do this, and you can still be yourself. You can make it through this. You can be better than the book. You can learn from the book and not lose yourself in it. I have faith in you, but you have to believe in yourself too.
Yeah, Doc.
Aaron, faith is for gods.
Remember what I said, Gavin? What I said, Doc. There is a God. There is a God. Even if you don't believe in him, he's there, and he's on your side. And he believes in you, and I believe in you. So if you're gonna do this, do it with the mind that you're coming back. You're not giving up. All right?
Yes, good. Going to succeed. Going to critically succeed.
Hey, Doc. Before you open that book, why don't we humor one of our own? Why don't you count to 10? And if on 10, Lou ain't here with the golden Farron, yay, you open the book.